5 months pregnant and framed for murder, that's my reality as cops slam me against the station wall. Blood drips from my nose while handcuffs cut into my swollen wrists. They're screaming about a body, a weapon, evidence that proves I'm guilty. But I've never killed anyone. My mafia husband stands in the corner watching them destroy me. His cold eyes meet mine for just a second. And that's when I know he's the one who did this to me. If I stay silent, I'll lose everything: my freedom, my baby, my life. But if I speak the truth about what I witnessed, the man I love will either save me or finish what he started. The police chief wants me buried. My husband wants me compliant. And somewhere in this city, the real killer is watching me take the fall. I have 48 hours before they transfer me to maximum security. 48 hours to prove my innocence. 48 hours to discover if the father of my child is my protector or my executioner. Hello, beautiful family. My daughter challenged me to hit 1,000 subscribers. So now you're all involved. Let's show her that nothing is impossible with a family behind you. Subscribe and comment below with where you're watching from. I want to know. Because seeing all your locations reminds me that stories connect us all, no matter the distance. Let's continue. 5 months pregnant and framed for murder. Those words don't belong together. But here I am bleeding on a police station floor while my unborn baby kicks against my ribs like she knows we're in danger. The cops don't care that I'm pregnant. They don't care that I'm screaming my innocence. All they see is the evidence. My fingerprints on a murder weapon. My DNA at a crime scene I've never been to. Security footage that somehow shows my face doing things I never did. The dead man's name is Rocco Santella, a low-level enforcer for a rival family. Someone put a bullet in his skull, execution style, and now they're saying it was me. They're saying I lured him to an abandoned warehouse and killed him in cold blood. But I was home that night. I was alone. My husband was handling business, the kind of business I'm not supposed to ask about. And now he's here. Salvatore Nero, the most feared man in this city. My husband, the father of my child. He stands across the room in his expensive black suit, talking to Police Chief Warren Cade like they're old friends. Maybe they are. Maybe this whole thing was planned. His dark eyes flick to me for just a second. Cold, empty, unreadable. No emotion, no recognition, like I'm already a ghost. My hands shake as they drag me toward the holding cells. The metal cuffs cut so deep I can feel my pulse throbbing in my wrists. I want to scream his name. I want to beg him to tell them the truth. But something stops me. Some primal instinct that whispers, stay quiet, stay alive. Because if Salvatore Nero wanted me safe, I wouldn't be here. And if he wanted me dead, I already would be. So what does he want? And who's playing who in this nightmare? The answers are buried somewhere in the blood and lies of this city, and I have 2 days to dig them up before they bury me instead. I wake up to the sound of splintering wood. My eyes snap open, and for a second I think I'm dreaming. But then I hear boots pounding against hardwood floors, and men shouting commands that don't belong in my home. I sit up in bed, my hand instinctively moving to my rounded belly where our daughter has been kicking all night. The bedroom door explodes inward, and suddenly there are guns pointed at my face. Black uniforms, body armor, the word police screaming in white letters across their chests. Gianna Nero, you're under arrest for the murder of Rocco Santella. The lead officer grabs my arm before I can process the words. Murder. My brain can't make sense of it. I've never killed anyone. I've never even held a gun. Wait, there's been a mistake. I don't know who that is. I didn't... His grip tightens as he yanks me out of bed. I'm wearing nothing but Salvatore's oversized shirt and my bare feet hit the cold floor. My pregnant belly makes me clumsy, and I stumble. Another officer catches me, but not gently. The steel cuffs bite into my wrists so hard I gasp. I'm 5 months pregnant. Please, you're hurting me. Nobody cares. They drag me through the hallway past our wedding photos and the nursery we just finished painting. Soft yellow walls for a baby girl who's supposed to arrive in 4 months. I try to turn back, but they push me forward. Down the stairs. Through the foyer. Outside where neighbors are watching with their phones out recording everything. The morning sun burns my eyes and I'm shaking so hard my teeth chatter. They shove me into the back of a squad car and slam the door. The sound echoes in my skull like a death sentence. At the police station, they don't let me sit. They parade me through the building like I'm some kind of trophy. Officers stare. Some whisper. Detective Morris Caffrey meets me in the interrogation room and throws a manila folder on the metal table between us. Crime scene photos spill out. A man's body crumpled against warehouse concrete. Blood pooled beneath him. Brain matter splattered on the wall behind where his head used to be intact. My stomach lurches and I taste bile. Rocco Santella, executed 2 nights ago. Caffrey's voice is flat. bored almost, like he's done this 1,000 times. Your fingerprints are all over the murder weapon, a 9mm we pulled from a dumpster 3 blocks from the scene. Your DNA is on his jacket. Security footage shows you entering the warehouse at 11 p.m. He slides a grainy photo toward me. A woman who looks like me but isn't. Same build, same hair color. But I was home that night, alone, waiting for Salvatore to come back from whatever business he never tells me about. That's not me. I've never seen this man. I've never been to that warehouse. I was home. My voice cracks and I hate how weak I sound. Caffrey leans back in his chair and crosses his arms. He doesn't believe me. Why would he? The evidence says I'm guilty. You get 1 phone call. Make it count. They take me to a phone on the wall and I dial Salvatore's number with shaking fingers. He answers on the 2nd ring. It's me. I've been arrested. They're saying I killed someone. Salvatore, I didn't do anything. Please come get me. Silence stretches for 3 seconds that feel like 3 years. Then his voice comes through cold and measured. I'll be there. He hangs up. No questions, no reassurance, just those 4 words. I stand there holding the dead phone until an officer pulls me away and locks me in a holding cell. The bars are thick and institutional gray. The bench is concrete. My baby kicks against my ribs like she's trying to escape this nightmare. I press both hands to my stomach and whisper promises I don't know if I can keep. That we'll get through this. That her father will fix everything. That we'll be okay. 40 minutes later, I hear his voice in the hallway. Deep and commanding and unmistakably Salvatore. My heart leaps. He came. He's here. Everything will be fine now. I move to the bars and crane my neck to see him. He's wearing a black suit that probably costs more than most people's cars. His dark hair is perfectly styled. His jaw is carved granite, but when his eyes meet mine across the station floor, they're empty, cold, like he's looking at a stranger. Police Chief Warren Cade stands beside him, and they're talking like old friends, laughing about something I can't hear. Salvatore's hand rests casually in his pocket. Relaxed, unbothered. He glances at me one more time and I see it. Or maybe I see nothing. No recognition, no concern, no fury that his pregnant wife is locked in a cage. He turns his back and walks toward Cade's office. They disappear through a door, and I'm left standing at the bars with my hands gripping cold metal. My baby kicks hard. Once, twice, 3 times. She knows something is wrong. And I realize with horrible clarity that maybe Salvatore isn't here to save me. Maybe he's here to make sure I stay buried. Hit subscribe and let me keep you company with a new story every day. They leave me in that cell for 6 hours. No food, no water, no explanation. Just me and the concrete bench, and the baby who won't stop moving inside me like she's trying to kick her way out. My wrists are bruised purple from the handcuffs, and my nose stopped bleeding an hour ago, but I can still taste copper in my mouth. Every time I hear footsteps in the hallway, my heart jumps. Maybe it's Salvatore coming to tell them this is all a mistake. Maybe it's my lawyer. Maybe it's someone who will actually listen. But the footsteps always pass by, always belong to someone else. Until Detective Caffrey returns with Chief Cade trailing behind him like a shadow. They unlock my cell and drag me back to the interrogation room. The lights are brighter this time, fluorescent and harsh. They make my head pound. Cade sits across from me while Caffrey stands in the corner with his arms crossed. Cade's wearing a suit that looks expensive. Too expensive. His watch catches the light silver with a blue face. European. I recognize the brand because Salvatore has one similar. That watch costs $60,000 minimum. Police chiefs don't make that kind of money. The thought plants itself in my brain, but I'm too terrified to examine it closely. Let's go through this again. Cade's voice is smooth, almost gentle, but his eyes are predator cold. You were seen entering the warehouse at 11:03 p.m. Security cameras caught you walking through the side entrance. The timestamp matches the coroner's estimated time of death. Rocco Santella was shot twice. Once in the chest, once in the head. Execution style. The gun we recovered has your fingerprints on the grip and the trigger. Your DNA is on the victim's jacket collar. Forensics says you grabbed him before you shot him. He slides more photos across the table. Close-ups of the gun. Evidence bags. My fingerprints highlighted in yellow marker. What we can't figure out is motive. Rocco was nobody. Low-level enforcer for the Giordano family. So why'd you kill him? I didn't. My voice comes out stronger this time. I was home that night. Alone. I've never met Rocco Santella. I've never held a gun in my entire life. Someone is setting me up. Caffrey snorts from his corner. Setting you up. Right. With your DNA, your prints. Video footage of your face. Lady, the evidence doesn't lie. I turn to face him and something inside me snaps. Then someone planted it. Because I didn't do this. I'm 5 months pregnant. Do I look like a killer to you? Cade leans forward and his coffee breath washes over me. You look like a mafia wife who got her hands dirty. Maybe your husband asked you to do it. Maybe you wanted to prove yourself. Maybe Rocco knew something he shouldn't and you decided to clean up a problem. His smile is thin and sharp. Either way, you're looking at life without parole. Maybe the death penalty depending on how the DA feels. Your baby will be born in prison. The state will take her immediately. You'll never hold her. Never see her first steps. Never hear her first words. She'll grow up knowing her mother is a murderer. The words hit me like bullets. Each one tearing through the last shred of hope I've been clinging to. My hands move to my belly instinctively. Protective. My daughter kicks against my palm and I feel tears burning hot down my cheeks. Please. I'm telling the truth. Check my alibi. Talk to my husband. He'll tell you I was home. Cade's smile widens. We already did. Salvatore Nero gave his statement this morning. He says he was with his men at a club across town handling business. Says he got home around 3 a.m. and you were asleep. He can't confirm where you were earlier that night. Can't vouch for your whereabouts during the time of the murder. The room tilts. My vision goes spotty at the edges. Salvatore told them he couldn't confirm my alibi. He threw me to the wolves. He let them think I could have done this. No. That's not he knows I was home. He knows. But even as I say it, doubt creeps in. Because Salvatore didn't look at me like his wife out there in the station. He looked at me like I was already dead. Cade stands and adjusts his expensive watch. You've got 48 hours before we transfer you to county. Maximum security wing. I'd suggest you use that time to think real hard about cooperation. Maybe you give us information about your husband's organization. Maybe we talk to the DA about a deal. Otherwise, you're gonna rot. They haul me back to the cell and this time I don't fight. I let them throw me inside and lock the door. I curl up on the concrete bench with my arms wrapped around my belly. My baby girl moves beneath my hands. Strong. Alive, depending on me to protect her. And I failed. I married a man whose world is violence and lies, and now it's swallowing us both. Salvatore's face flashes through my mind. Those empty eyes. That cold expression, standing beside Cade like they're partners. And suddenly I remember something. The way Cade touched his watch when he threatened me. The way Salvatore's jaw tightened for just a fraction of a second when he glanced at me. Maybe I'm reaching. Maybe I'm desperate, but desperation is all I have left. That watch bothers me. That expensive European watch on a public servant's wrist. I close my eyes and try to think through the terror. Try to find the pattern. Because if someone framed me this perfectly, they had resources, money, access. And they needed me specifically, not just any scapegoat. Me, Salvatore Nero's pregnant wife. Which means this isn't just about murder. It's about him. About hurting him. About destabilizing whatever empire he's built in the shadows. I press my forehead against the cold wall and whisper into the silence. If you're playing a game, Salvatore, I swear to God you better win. Because I can't lose. Not when she's depending on me. My daughter kicks 3 times. Like she's agreeing. Like she knows her father is dangerous, but he's also the only chance we have. I just hope I'm right. Because if I'm wrong, we're both already dead. Outside the station, Salvatore sits in the back of his black Mercedes with the engine running and the windows tinted so dark nobody can see inside. His driver knows better than to speak. His most trusted enforcer, Dante Cale, sits in the passenger seat staring straight ahead, waiting for orders. Salvatore's jaw is locked so tight his teeth ache. His hands rest on his knees, but his fingers twitch with the urge to wrap around someone's throat and squeeze until bones crack. Gianna's face flashes through his mind. The terror in her eyes when she saw him standing next to Cade. The way her hands moved to protect their daughter. The blood on her face from where those animals slammed her against the wall. He wants to go back inside and paint that station red. He wants to make every cop who touched her beg for death. But he can't. Not yet. Why aren't we getting her out? Dante's voice cuts through the silence. He's been with Salvatore for 12 years. Loyal. Deadly. One of the few men Salvatore trusts with his life. We could walk in there right now. Take her. Burn that building to the ground. Salvatore's eyes stay fixed on the station entrance. Because whoever framed her wants exactly that. They want me emotional. They want me to react without thinking. They want me to expose my hand so they can cut it off. He lights a cigarette and takes a long drag. The smoke fills his lungs and centers him. Helps him think through the rage. Gianna is innocent. I know that. You know that. But someone with serious resources went through a lot of trouble to make her look guilty. Which means this isn't about her. It's about me. Dante turns in his seat. The Morettis? Salvatore nods slowly. Maybe. Or the Giordanos? Or someone inside my own organization who wants to destabilize my territory while I'm distracted trying to save my wife? The thought makes his blood run cold. A traitor in his family. Someone close enough to know Gianna's routine. Someone with access to information that should be locked down tight. Rocco Santella was about to testify. Against who? Dante pulls out his phone and scrolls through messages. Federal case against the Moretti family. Rocco was going to give up names, locations, financial records. He would have buried them. So the Morettis wanted him dead. That makes sense. But why frame Gianna? Salvatore flicks ash out the window. The pieces are there, but they're not fitting together yet. Because killing Rocco solves one problem, but framing your pregnant wife solves two. They eliminate their witness, and they cripple you at the same time. While you're scrambling to save her, they move on your territory. Take your businesses. Turn your soldiers. By the time you realize what's happening, your empire is gone. Dante's voice is grim. He sees it too. The chess game playing out with Gianna as the sacrificial pawn. Salvatore crushes his cigarette against the car door. Get me everyone who knew about Rocco's testimony. Every captain, every soldier, every associate who might have heard something. I want them brought in quietly. No calls, no warnings. Just grab them and bring them to the warehouse on Pier 17. Dante nods and starts making calls. Salvatore watches the station entrance and thinks about Gianna locked in that cell. She thinks he abandoned her. She thinks he set her up. Good. If she believes it, then everyone else will too. The real enemy will think they've won. They'll get comfortable, make mistakes, and that's when he'll strike. His phone buzzes. A text from his lawyer, Paulie Ravenna. Documents ready. Visiting hours end at 8. Salvatore checks his watch. 7:45. He has 15 minutes. Wait here, he tells Dante and steps out of the Mercedes. The evening air is cold against his skin. He walks into the station like he owns it, because in many ways he does. Half the cops on duty are on his payroll. The other half are too scared to cross him. Chief Cade meets him in the hallway with a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Mr. Nero, back so soon? Salvatore's expression doesn't change. I want to see my wife. Sign whatever paperwork is necessary. Cade's smile falters. She's not taking visitors except her lawyer. Salvatore steps closer. Invades his space. Watches Cade's hand instinctively move to his hip, where his service weapon sits. I am her lawyer. Or did you forget I own half the law firms in this city? It's not true, but Cade doesn't know that. He swallows hard and nods. 15 minutes. That's all I can give you. He leads Salvatore to the holding cells. Gianna is curled on the bench with her arms around her belly. She looks small, broken. Nothing like the fierce woman who challenges him at home, who makes him laugh, who looks at him like he's more than just a monster in an expensive suit. Mrs. Nero, you have a visitor. Cade unlocks the cell and steps back. Salvatore enters and waits until the door locks behind him. He sits on the bench far enough away that they're not touching, close enough that he can smell her shampoo beneath the blood and fear. Are you hurt? His voice is low, emotionless, playing the role. Gianna doesn't look at him. Why are you here? Her voice is hollow. To bring you documents. Your lawyer couldn't make it tonight. You need to sign these. He pulls papers from his jacket and sets them on the bench between them. Standard legal forms. Nothing important. Except buried in the third page is a message written in code. 3 words highlighted in yellow marker that look like legal jargon but aren't. Trust no one. Stay alive. I'm coming. He watches her hands shake as she picks up the papers. Watches her eyes scan the pages. He doesn't know if she'll see it, if she'll understand. But he can't say the words out loud. Not here where they're being watched, recorded, analyzed. She reads slowly. Her finger traces each line. And then she stops. Her body goes rigid. She found it. Her eyes flick to his for just a second. Searching, questioning. He keeps his face blank, gives her nothing. She sets the papers down without signing. I don't need a lawyer. I need my husband. But I guess I don't have one of those anymore. The words cut deep, but he doesn't flinch. This is the game. This is survival. He stands and calls for Cade. She won't sign. Waste of time. He walks out without looking back, leaves her there in that cell hating him, believing he's the enemy. It's the only way to keep her alive. Because if the people who framed her think she matters to him, they'll kill her before he can find them. But if they think she's disposable, just another liability he's cutting loose, they might let her live long enough for him to move. He climbs back into the Mercedes and tells Dante to drive. His phone rings. Unknown number. He answers. Nero. A distorted voice comes through. Mechanical. Unrecognizable. 48 hours until transfer. Better hope your wife survives county. I hear pregnant women don't do well there. The line goes dead. Salvatore stares at his phone. Someone is watching. Someone knows the timeline. Someone wants him to know they're in control. He leans back against the leather seat and closes his eyes. 48 hours to find a traitor. 48 hours to prove Gianna's innocence. 48 hours to save his family. The clock is ticking, and Salvatore Nero doesn't lose. I spend the night on that concrete bench trying to decode what just happened. Trust no one. Stay alive. I'm coming. 3 sentences buried in fake legal documents that Salvatore knew I'd find, which means he's playing a game. Which means maybe he hasn't abandoned me. Or maybe it's a trap. Maybe he wants me compliant while he figures out how to permanently erase the problem I've become. I press my hands against my belly and feel our daughter moving. She's active tonight, restless, like she can sense my fear bleeding into her bloodstream. I whisper promises I don't know if I can keep. That her father loves us. That he's going to fix this. That we'll survive. Morning comes with the sound of keys rattling against metal bars. A guard I don't recognize opens my cell and gestures for me to follow. You've got company. Cell block C. I stand slowly. My body aches from sleeping on concrete. My wrists throb where the handcuffs cut too deep yesterday. He leads me down a hallway that smells like industrial cleaner in desperation. Other cells line the walls. Most are empty. One holds a woman who looks like she's been here for years. Dead eyes. Hollow cheeks. She doesn't look up as we pass. He stops at the last cell and unlocks it. You've got 30 minutes. Play nice. Inside is a woman around my age, maybe younger. Dark hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. Her clothes are cheap, but her eyes are sharp. Intelligent. She's sitting on the bench with her legs crossed, and when she sees me, her expression shifts. Recognition. Gianna Nero. She says my name like she knows me, like we've met before, but I've never seen her in my life. Who are you? I stay near the door. Don't trust easy. Not anymore. She stands and offers her hand. Sloane Ferris. We haven't met, but I know your husband. Well, I know of him. Everyone in this city knows Salvatore Nero. I don't shake her hand. What do you want? She drops her arm and smiles. It doesn't reach her eyes. I want to help you, because I think we can help each other. She sits back down and pats the bench beside her. I stay standing. I was arrested for prostitution 3 days ago. Bullshit charges. I work as a dancer at a club on the east side. Legal, licensed, but Chief Cade doesn't like my boss, so he likes to hassle us. Anyway, I was working the night Rocco Santella got killed. I was near that warehouse. My heart stutters. You saw something. It's not a question. Sloane nods. I saw a woman who looked like you walk into the side entrance around 11. But something was off. The way she moved, the way she held herself. I've seen you before at charity events with your husband. You move different. This woman was trying to be you, but she wasn't quite right. The walk was too stiff. The posture was wrong. Like she was wearing a costume. My hands shake as I sit down beside her. You're saying someone impersonated me. I'm saying someone went through a lot of trouble to make it look like you killed Rocco. Prosthetics, maybe. Or a really good mask. I don't know, but it wasn't you. She leans closer and lowers her voice. And I saw something else. Chief Cade's personal vehicle. Black Escalade with custom plates. It was parked 2 blocks from the warehouse at 10:45. Before the murder. He was there. The information hits me like electricity. Cade was at the scene. Cade who's running the investigation. Cade who keeps threatening me with life in prison. Cade who wears watches he shouldn't be able to afford. Why are you telling me this? I search her face for lies. For traps. Because Cade threatened me 6 months ago. Told me if I didn't keep my mouth shut about things I saw at the club, he'd make sure I disappeared. He's dirty. Everyone knows it, but nobody says anything. Because crossing him means dying. But you're different. You're Salvatore Nero's wife. You have resources. Power. If you can bring Cade down, I want to help. She reaches into her sleeve and pulls out a tiny piece of paper. A phone number written in pen. This is my sister's number. When you get out, and you will get out, call her. I'll testify about what I saw. About Cade being there. About the woman who wasn't you. I take the paper and memorize the number before tucking it into my waistband. Thank you. Sloane stands and moves to the bars. Signals the guard. Don't thank me yet. Just promise me when your husband burns this city down looking for whoever framed you, he remembers I helped. The guard unlocks the door and she walks out without looking back. I'm left alone in the cell staring at the concrete walls. Processing. Someone wore a mask of my face. Someone impersonated me well enough to fool security cameras. That takes planning, money, professional help. This wasn't some random frame job. This was surgical, calculated, designed to destroy me and destabilize Salvatore at the same time. I paced the small space trying to think, trying to remember if I've seen anyone watching me, following me, taking photos. But I've been so careful to stay out of Salvatore's business, to keep my distance from the darkness he lives in. Maybe that made me an easy target. Maybe my ignorance was exactly what they counted on. The guard returns an hour later and takes me back to my original cell. The day drags. No food, no water, just me and my thoughts, and the baby who won't stop kicking. Evening comes and I hear shouting from somewhere down the hallway. Guards running, radios crackling. Something's happening. I press my face against the bars trying to see. An officer I recognize, one who processed me when I first arrived, runs past my cell. "What's going on?" I call out. He stops and his face is pale. "Inmate in C block. Suicide." My blood goes cold. Who? But I already know. I know before he says it. Sloane Ferris. Hung herself with a bedsheet. He keeps running. I stumble back from the bars and sink onto the bench. Sloane is dead. The woman who was going to testify. The woman who saw Cade at the murder scene. The woman who knew the truth about the impersonator. Gone. Silenced. Murdered and made to look like suicide. My hands move to my belly and I feel our daughter kick. Strong. Alive. Fighting. I think about Salvatore's message. "Stay alive. I'm coming." I think about Cade's expensive watch and his proximity to the warehouse. I think about how perfectly I was framed, how many people had to be involved, how deep this corruption runs, and I realize something that makes my skin go cold. If they're willing to kill Sloane to keep her quiet, they'll kill me too. The transfer to maximum security isn't about prison. It's about making me disappear. About putting me somewhere Salvatore can't reach, somewhere his money and power and violence can't protect me. I stand and move to the bars, look down the hallway toward where Sloane's body is probably still hanging. A woman who tried to help me. A woman who paid with her life. I press my forehead against the cold metal and close my eyes. "Salvatore, I think, whatever you're planning, you better do it soon. Because I don't think I have 48 hours anymore. I think I'm running out of time." My daughter kicks 3 times against my ribs, like she's telling me to fight, like she knows her mother isn't the kind of woman who goes down easy. I smile despite the terror, despite the death and the lies and the corruption. Because she's right. I'm Gianna Nero, and I'm not dying in this place. Not today. Not ever. Hit subscribe and let me keep you company with a new story every day. Salvatore doesn't go home that night. He goes to the warehouse on Pier 17 where the air smells like salt water and rust and old blood. His men have been busy. 6 associates sit in chairs with their hands zip-tied behind their backs. Their faces show varying degrees of fear. Some try to look defiant. Some are already crying. Dante stands in the corner cleaning his knuckles with a rag. There's fresh blood on his shirt. Salvatore walks past each man slowly, studies their faces, looks for the tell. The micro-expression that says guilty, that says traitor, that says I'm the one who sold out your wife. He stops in front of Enzo Talvera, a captain who's been with the family for 8 years, loyal. Or so Salvatore thought. Enzo's lip is split, and his left eye is swelling shut. "Tell me about Rocco Santella." Salvatore's voice is quiet, conversational, more terrifying than if he was screaming. Enzo swallows hard. "I don't know anything, boss. I swear. I heard he was going to testify, but that's all. I didn't." Salvatore backhands him across the face. The sound echoes in the empty warehouse. Blood sprays from Enzo's mouth and spatters on the concrete floor. "Let me explain how this works. I'm going to ask questions. You're going to tell me the truth. Every lie costs you a finger. After you run out of fingers, we move to other parts. Parts you'll miss more." He pulls a pair of bolt cutters from the table behind him. The metal gleams under the fluorescent lights. Enzo's eyes go wide. He starts talking fast, desperate. Okay. I knew about Rocco. I knew he was talking to the feds. I mentioned it to someone, just casual conversation. I didn't think. Salvatore presses the bolt cutters against Enzo's pinky finger. "Who did you mention it to?" "Lazzaro Cross. He works for the Morettis. We were at a card game 3 weeks ago. He asked if I'd heard anything about federal investigations. I told him about Rocco. That's all. I didn't know what he was planning. I didn't know they'd go after Gianna." Enzo's voice breaks on her name, like saying it might save him. It won't. Salvatore nods slowly. Processes. Lazzaro Cross, Moretti enforcer, known for being smart, Ruthless. Exactly the kind of man who could orchestrate a frame job this sophisticated. Where can I find Lazaro? Enzo shakes his head. I don't know. He moves around. Different locations every night. But his girlfriend, she works at a salon on 5th Street. Place called Bella Vita. He picks her up every Thursday. Salvatore checks his watch. Thursday. Tomorrow. He looks at Dante. Confirm it. Dante pulls out his phone and makes a call. 2 minutes later, he nods. Confirmed. Lazaro Cross has a girlfriend named Angela Russo. Works at Bella Vita Salon. Regular Thursday night pickup at 9 p.m. Salvatore turns back to Enzo. You gave information about my family to an enemy. You compromised an investigation. You put my wife and unborn child in danger. He raises the bolt cutters. Enzo starts screaming, begging. Please, boss. Please. It was a mistake. I didn't mean. The bolt cutters close. The sound of bone and cartilage severing is wet and final. Enzo's scream could wake the dead. His pinky finger falls to the floor. Blood pours from the stump. Salvatore doesn't flinch. That's for betraying the family. He positions the cutters on the next finger. This is for putting Gianna in a cage. Another cut. Another scream. Another piece of Enzo hitting the concrete. He works methodically. No emotion. No hesitation. By the time he's done, Enzo has passed out from shock and blood loss. Salvatore drops the bolt cutters and wipes his hands on a towel. Get him medical attention. Keep him alive. I might need him later. He looks at the other 5 men tied to chairs. They're pale, shaking. One has vomited on himself. The rest of you, if you hear anything about who's working with the Morettis, you come to me immediately. You don't talk to anyone else. You don't investigate on your own. You come directly to me. Understood? They all nod frantically. Salvatore signals Dante, and they step outside into the night air. His hands are steady, but his mind is racing. Lazaro Cross is a lead, but he's not the endgame. Someone higher up ordered this. Someone with enough power to coordinate with Police Chief Cade. Someone who wants Salvatore broken. He lights a cigarette and stares at the dark water. Run a full background on Cade. Every transaction. Every property. Every connection. I want to know who owns him. Dante nods. Already on it. Got a forensic accountant digging through his finances. Should have something by morning. And Gianna's transfer? Salvatore's jaw tightens. Scheduled for tomorrow night, 10 p.m., 28 hours. Not enough time. He takes a long drag and thinks, plans, calculates risk. I need to see her again. Tonight. Dante checks his phone. Visiting hours are over. Station's locked down after 8. Salvatore flicks his cigarette into the water. Then we make it happen another way. Call Judge Brennan. Tell him I need an emergency court order for a private attorney visit. Tell him if he doesn't sign it, his campaign contributions dry up and I release the photos from Atlantic City. 30 minutes later, they're driving back to the station. Judge Brennan came through. He always does. Fear and blackmail are remarkably effective motivators. Salvatore walks in with legal documents and an expression that dares anyone to stop him. Chief Cade isn't there. Night shift supervisor is a sergeant named Murphy, who's been on Salvatore's payroll for 6 years. He barely glances at the paperwork before unlocking the cell block. 15 minutes. That's all I can do without raising flags. Gianna is awake when he enters her cell. She looks exhausted, haunted, but alive. That's what matters. He sits beside her and keeps his voice low. Sloane Ferris. Gianna's eyes fill with tears. They killed her. She was going to testify, and they killed her. Salvatore nods. I know, which means we're running out of time. Your transfer is tomorrow night. Once you leave this building, I can't protect you. So we're going to move first. Move how? Her voice is shaky. Scared but trying to be brave. He loves her for that. I'm going to give you something. You're going to hide it. When they come to transport you tomorrow night, you're going to use it. He pulls a small razor blade from his jacket lining. No bigger than a fingernail. Sharp enough to cut through zip ties or tape. Small enough to hide. Where did Sloane tell you Cade was the night of the murder? 2 blocks from the warehouse. 10:45 p.m. Before Rocco died. Gianna takes the razor blade and slides it into the hem of her shirt. Her fingers work quickly, efficiently. She also said the woman who looked like me moved wrong. Like she was wearing a disguise. Salvatore's mind files that information. Confirms what he already suspected. Professional job. I'm getting you out tomorrow. But you need to trust me. Even when it looks bad. Even when you think I've abandoned you. Trust that I'm coming. She looks at him, and for the first time since this nightmare started, he sees something besides fear in her eyes. Hope. I found your message. In the legal papers. He allows himself a small smile. I knew you would. You're smarter than you give yourself credit for. He stands to leave, but she grabs his hand. Her grip is tight. Desperate. Salvatore, if something happens to me. If they kill me before you can. He presses his finger to her lips. Nothing is going to happen to you. I don't lose. And I don't let anyone take what's mine. You and our daughter are mine. Which means you're untouchable. He kisses her forehead. Brief. Chaste. But loaded with everything he can't say out loud in this place where they're being watched. Then he walks out before he does something stupid like tear this building apart with his bare hands. Outside, he climbs back into the Mercedes. Dante is waiting. We've got a location on Lazzaro. And you're going to want to hear this. Cade's been receiving monthly deposits from a shell company owned by the Moretti family. $200,000 a year for the last 5 years. Salvatore leans back and closes his eyes. The pieces are falling into place. The Morettis wanted Rocco dead to stop his testimony. They needed someone to take the fall. Framing Gianna served 2 purposes: eliminate their witness and destabilize Salvatore's organization while he scrambled to save his wife. It's elegant, brutal, exactly the kind of move his enemies would make. Tomorrow night we take Lazzaro, and we make him talk. I want names. I want proof. I want everything. Dante grins. It's not a pleasant expression. And Cade? Salvatore's eyes open. They're cold. Empty. The eyes of a man who's killed before and will kill again. Cade's mine. When this is over, I'm going to make him confess everything. On camera, in front of witnesses. And then I'm going to make sure he never threatens my family again. If this episode made your heart race, make sure you're subscribed so I can bring you the next twist. The next day crawls by like death itself. I sit in my cell counting the hours until 10 p.m. when they're supposed to transfer me. The razor blade Salvatore gave me is hidden in the hem of my shirt pressing against my skin. A tiny piece of metal that might save my life or get me killed trying. I think about Sloane hanging in her cell. I think about Salvatore's eyes last night when he promised he was coming. I think about our daughter moving inside me. She's been quieter today. Less active. Like she knows something bad is coming and she's conserving energy. I press my hand to my belly and whisper reassurances neither of us believe. Around noon they bring food. Watery soup and stale bread. I force myself to eat even though my stomach is in knots. I need strength. Need to be ready for whatever happens tonight. The guard who delivers the tray is young. New. He looks at my pregnant belly with something like pity. How far along are you? His voice is soft, almost kind. It breaks something in me. 5 months. It's a girl. He nods and his jaw tightens. My sister's pregnant too. Same amount. I can't imagine. He stops himself, shakes his head. Good luck tonight. He walks away before I can ask what he means. The hours drag. 3 p.m., 5 p.m., 7 p.m. Each minute feels like an eternity. I pace my cell. Sit. Stand. Pace again. My mind won't stop spinning. Running through scenarios. What if the transport is legitimate? What if I'm wrong about them trying to kill me? What if I use the razor blade and make everything worse? But then I remember Sloane's dead eyes. Remember Cade's predator smile. Remember how perfectly I was framed. No. This is a trap. I'm sure of it. At 9:30 p.m. I hear voices in the hallway. Footsteps. Keys rattling. My heart hammers against my ribs so hard I can barely breathe. 2 guards appear outside my cell. Neither one looks familiar. The first is tall with a neck tattoo barely visible above his collar. The second is shorter but broader. Built like he spends every free moment in a gym. They're not regular cops. I know it instantly. The way they move. The way they look at me. These are Moretti soldiers wearing police uniforms. Time to go, Mrs. Nero. Transfer's been moved up. We're taking you now. The tall one unlocks my cell. I don't move. I was told 10 p.m. He smiles and it's all teeth. No warmth. Change of plans. Let's go. He grabs my arm and hauls me to my feet. His grip is bruising. Painful. I stumble and catch myself against the wall. I'm pregnant. Be careful. He laughs. Actually laughs. We know. Heard you're having a girl. Shame she'll never meet her mother. Terror floods my system. This is it. This is the moment. They drag me through the station, but we're not going toward the main entrance. We're heading to the back, the service exit where there are no cameras, no witnesses, just a dark alley and a waiting van. I try to plant my feet, try to resist. But I'm 5 months pregnant and exhausted, and they're trained killers. They shove me through a metal door into the night air. A white van sits idling 20 feet away, unmarked, windows tinted black. Get in. The shorter guard opens the back doors. Inside is empty except for plastic sheeting covering the floor. The kind you use when you don't want to leave evidence. When you're planning to spill blood and need easy cleanup, my hand moves to the razor blade hidden in my hem. My fingers close around it. If I'm going to die, I'm taking at least one of them with me. But before I can move, gunfire erupts from the darkness. The tall guard's head snaps back and he drops like a puppet with cut strings. The shorter one reaches for his weapon, but another shot takes him in the chest. He staggers, falls. Blood pools beneath him, turning the concrete black. I freeze. Can't process what's happening. Then Dante KL emerges from the shadows with a gun in each hand. Behind him are 4 more men I recognize from Salvatore's inner circle. Get her to the car. Now. 2 of them grab me gentle this time, protective, and rush me toward a black SUV parked at the end of the alley. Bullets slam into the brick wall beside us. Someone's shooting back. More Moretti soldiers maybe. Or corrupt cops. I don't know. Don't care. I just run. They throw me into the back seat and Dante floors it before my door is even closed. We tear through the city streets at speeds that should be illegal. I'm pressed against the leather seat with my arms wrapped around my belly. My baby is kicking now. Hard. Frantic. She feels my terror. Shares it. Where's Salvatore? My voice comes out shaky, weak. Dante's eyes meet mine in the rearview mirror. Handling business. We're taking you to a safe house. You'll be secure there until this is over. We drive for 30 minutes. Through neighborhoods I don't recognize. Down streets that get progressively darker and emptier. Finally, we pull up to a warehouse that looks abandoned but isn't. Dante helps me out of the SUV and leads me inside. The interior is surprisingly clean, furnished. There's a bedroom with an actual bed, a bathroom, a small kitchen. You stay here. Don't leave. Don't call anyone. Don't go near the windows. My men will be outside. If anything happens, you scream and they'll come. He hands me a phone. Salvatore's number is programmed. That's the only person you call. Understood? I nod. Take the phone. My hands are shaking so hard I almost drop it. Dante's expression softens. You're safe now. I promise. Boss would burn this city to ash before he let anyone hurt you. He leaves and I hear the door lock from the outside. I'm alone. Finally alone. I sink onto the bed and the adrenaline crashes out of me all at once. Sobs tear from my throat. Violent. Uncontrollable. I cry for Sloane. For myself. For my daughter who's growing inside a body that's become a target. For the life I thought I had that turned out to be built on lies and blood. The phone buzzes. A text. You're safe. Stay put. I'm finishing this tonight. Salvatore. I read the message 3 times. My fingers hover over the keyboard. I want to tell him I'm scared. That I love him. That I need him here with me. But I just type back. Be careful. His response is immediate. Always. Trust me. I set the phone down and press both hands to my belly. Our daughter kicks against my palms. Strong. Alive. A fighter like her father. I don't know what Salvatore is doing right now. Don't know who he's hunting or what violence he's unleashing. But I know one thing with absolute certainty. Whoever framed me is going to wish they'd never heard the name Gianna Nero. Because Salvatore doesn't forgive. He doesn't forget. And he sure as hell doesn't let anyone threaten his family and live to tell about it. I close my eyes and try to sleep, but my mind won't shut off. Images flash. Sloane hanging. The guards with their predator smiles. The plastic sheeting in the van. The gunfire. The blood. This is Salvatore's world. This is what he lives in every day. Violence and death and constant danger. And somehow I'm part of it now. Not by choice. But by circumstance. By marriage. By love. The baby kicks again. 3 times. Our signal. Our language. I smile despite everything. I know, sweetheart. I know. Your daddy's coming. And when he does, everyone who hurt us is going to pay. I lie down on the bed and pull a blanket over myself. Outside I hear Dante's men talking in low voices. Keeping watch. Keeping me safe. I should feel grateful. I do feel grateful. But mostly I feel angry. Furious. That someone tried to destroy me. Tried to take my baby. Tried to use me as a weapon against the man I love. They made a mistake. A fatal one. Because I'm not just Salvatore Nero's wife. I'm the mother of his child. And hell hath no fury like a mother protecting her daughter. Thursday night, 9 p.m. Salvatore sits in a black sedan across the street from Bella Vita Salon watching the door. Dante is beside him loading a gun with the kind of casual efficiency that comes from decades of violence. In the back seat are 2 more soldiers, Nico Serrano and Felix Garro. Both young, both hungry to prove themselves. Both loyal enough to die for the family without hesitation. The salon's neon sign flickers pink and white against the darkness. Through the window, Salvatore can see women getting their hair done. Normal people living normal lives. They have no idea what's about to happen 20 feet from where they're sitting. Black Audi. 3 cars down. Dante's voice is flat. Salvatore's eyes shift. The Audi is expensive. Tinted windows. Custom rims. Lazzaro crosses vehicle according to the intel. Right on schedule. At 9:15, the salon door opens and a woman steps out. Mid-20s. Dark hair. Pretty in an unremarkable way. Angela Russo. Lazzaro's girlfriend. She walks toward the Audi, checking her phone. Doesn't notice the sedan or the men watching her. Doesn't see the danger closing in. The Audi's door opens and Lazzaro steps out. He's tall, well-dressed. The kind of man who looks like he belongs in a boardroom, not a criminal empire. He kisses Angela and opens the passenger door for her. A gentleman. How sweet. Salvatore's jaw tightens. This is the man who helped frame Gianna, who coordinated with Cade, who put his wife and unborn daughter in mortal danger. Salvatore is going to enjoy making him bleed. Wait until they're on the move. We take him at the red light on 7th. Dante nods. Nico and Felix check their weapons. The Audi pulls out and Salvatore follows at a distance. 2 cars between them. Casual. Invisible. They hit the red light exactly where predicted. Salvatore pulls up alongside the Audi. Dante rolls down his window. Lazzaro cross. Your boss wants a word. Lazzaro's hand goes for his gun, but he's too slow. Dante already has his weapon aimed at Angela's head through the window. You pull that piece and your girlfriend's brains decorate the dashboard. Your choice. Lazzaro's face goes white. He raises his hand slowly. What do you want? Salvatore leans forward so Lazzaro can see him. Recognition flashes in the man's eyes, followed by pure terror. Oh, hell. Nero. Listen, I can explain. Salvatore's smile is cold. Empty. You can explain in private. Get out of the car. Leave your weapon. Your phone. Your girlfriend stays put. If you run, Dante shoots her. If you fight, Dante shoots her. If you do anything other than exactly what I say, Dante shoots her. We clear? Lazzaro nods frantically. Opens his door. Steps out with his hands visible. Nico and Felix grab him and shove him into the back of Salvatore's sedan. They're moving before the light turns green. Angela is screaming something, but they're already 3 blocks away. Salvatore glances in the rearview mirror. Lazzaro is pressed between Nico and Felix, looking like he might vomit. Where are you taking me? His voice shakes. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere we can talk without interruption. They drive to the warehouse on Pier 17. Same place Salvatore interrogated Enzo. The blood from that session is still on the floor. Dried. Brown. A reminder of what happens to traitors. They drag Lazzaro inside and zip-tie him to a metal chair. He's breathing hard, sweating, eyes darting around looking for escape routes that don't exist. Salvatore removes his jacket, rolls up his sleeves, takes his time, lets the anticipation build, lets Lazzaro's imagination run wild with what's coming. Rocco Santella, talk. Salvatore's voice is conversational, almost friendly. Lazzaro swallows hard. I don't know what you're talking about. Salvatore picks up a hammer from the table. Solid steel. Heavy. He tests the weight in his hand. Let me be clear. My pregnant wife is in hiding because someone framed her for Rocco's murder. Someone orchestrated an incredibly sophisticated operation involving fake evidence, an impersonator, and a corrupt police chief. Someone who wanted Rocco dead and needed a scapegoat. Someone who works for the Moretti family. Someone exactly like you. I didn't. Salvatore swings the hammer. It connects with Lazzaro's kneecap. The crack of bone shattering echoes through the warehouse. Lazzaro's scream is inhuman, primal. He writhes in the chair, but the zip ties hold. Blood seeps through his expensive pants. Salvatore waits for the screaming to die down to sobbing. That was for lying. Next one's for my wife. Then my daughter. Then every hour Gianna spent in that cell thinking I'd abandoned her. We can do this all night. I've got nowhere to be. Lazzaro's face is sheet white. Shock setting in. Okay, yes. I killed Rocco. The Morettis ordered it. He was going to testify. Give up names, financial records, everything. They needed him gone. His words come fast. Desperate. And my wife? Why frame her? Salvatore moves the hammer to Lazzaro's other knee. Lazzaro flinches. Insurance. The Morettis wanted you destabilized, distracted. They're moving on your territory while you're scrambling to save Gianna. It was strategic. Nothing personal. Salvatore's laugh is dark, humorless. Nothing personal. You framed my pregnant wife for murder, and it's nothing personal. He raises the hammer again. Wait. I can give you proof. I can give you everything. Chief Cade. The payments. The coordination. The woman we hired to impersonate Gianna. I have recordings, text messages, financial records, everything you need to prove she's innocent. Salvatore lowers the hammer. Where? Encrypted phone. Hidden in my apartment. Safe behind the bedroom mirror. Combination is 4792. It's all there. 5 years of communications between Cade and the Morettis. Bribes, evidence tampering, everything. Lazzaro's crying now. Full breakdown. Please, I'll testify. I'll say whatever you want. Just don't kill me. Don't kill Angela. She doesn't know anything. She's innocent. Salvatore pulls out his phone and calls Dante, who's waiting outside. Get to Lazzaro's apartment. Safe behind the bedroom mirror. Combination 4792. Bring me everything inside. He hangs up and turns back to Lazzaro. If you're lying, if that safe is empty or doesn't exist, I'm going to kill Angela first. Make you watch. Then I'm going to take my time with you. Use tools that'll keep you alive and screaming for days. Understood? Lazzaro nods so hard his teeth rattle. 30 minutes later, Dante returns with a phone and a stack of documents. Salvatore scrolls through the messages. His expression doesn't change, but inside he's burning. Years of coordination between Cade and the Morettis. Payments for evidence tampering. Witness intimidation. Even a murder-for-hire contract on a federal prosecutor. And their text messages about Gianna. About framing her. About the impersonator. About making sure the evidence was airtight. Screenshots of the doctored security footage. Everything. The impersonator. Who was she? Salvatore looks up from the phone. Lazzaro's face is gray from blood loss. Professional. Goes by Nova. Does high-end jobs. Prosthetics. Voice matching. She studied Gianna for weeks. Movements. Mannerisms. Everything. Cost the Morettis $200,000. Salvatore saves everything to a secure cloud. Forwards copies to 3 different locations. This is gold. This is exactly what he needs to destroy Cade and the Morettis and exonerate Gianna. He walks over to Lazzaro and crouches down so they're eye level. Here's what's going to happen. Tomorrow you're going to the police station with me. You're going to confess. On camera. In front of witnesses. You're going to tell them everything about the frame job. About Cade's corruption. About the Moretti family's involvement. And if you do exactly what I say, I'll let you and Angela live. You'll go to prison. But you'll be breathing. That's more mercy than you deserve. Lazzaro nods weakly. Yes. Anything. I'll do anything. Salvatore stands. Looks at Nico and Felix. Get him medical attention. Keep him alive. Keep him conscious. Tomorrow we end this. He walks out into the night air and calls Gianna. She answers on the first ring. Salvatore? Her voice is small, scared. It breaks something in him. It's over, baby. I have everything. Proof. Confessions. Tomorrow I'm bringing you home. He hears her sob. Relief mixed with exhaustion. I knew you'd come. I knew it. His throat tightens. I'll always come. You and our daughter, you're everything. I'm sorry I made you think otherwise. Sorry I couldn't tell you the plan. She's quiet for a moment. Then, just finish it, please. I want to come home. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes after. Friday morning breaks cold and gray. I wake up in the safe house with my neck stiff from sleeping wrong and my baby doing gymnastics against my ribs. The phone Dante gave me sits on the nightstand. No new messages. I grab it anyway and stare at Salvatore's last text. It's over, baby. I have everything. I want to believe him. Want to trust that today I'll finally be free. But fear has become a constant companion. A shadow I can't shake. I get up and splash water on my face. Look at myself in the mirror. Dark circles under my eyes. Bruises fading on my wrists. I look like someone who's been through war. Maybe I have been. Around 9 a.m., Dante knocks on the door. Boss wants you ready in 30 minutes. We're going to the station. My heart jumps into my throat. What's happening? He steps inside and his expression is serious but not unkind. Salvatore is forcing a confession. Public. On camera. Chief Cade and Lazzaro Cross are both going down, but he needs you there. Needs the victim present to make it stick. I press my hand to my belly. Our daughter kicks once. Twice. Like she's telling me to be brave. Okay. I'm ready. Dante drives me through the city in a different SUV. This one has bulletproof glass and armor plating. We're not taking chances. As we get closer to the station, I see news vans, reporters, cameras everywhere. What did Salvatore do? My voice is barely a whisper. Dante glances at me in the mirror. He invited every major news outlet in the state. Told them there was going to be a major announcement about police corruption. They're feeding like sharks. Smart, brutal, very Salvatore. We pull up to the back entrance where fewer cameras are positioned. Dante helps me out, and 2 more of Salvatore's men flank us as we walk inside. The station is chaos. Officers running around, phones ringing, Chief Cade's voice screaming from somewhere down the hall. "You can't do this. I'll have you arrested. You're trespassing." Then Salvatore's voice. Calm, cold, deadly. "I have a court order, signed by Judge Brennan. I suggest you read it before you threaten me again." Dante leads me to an observation room with one-way glass. Through the window I can see the main interrogation room. Salvatore stands near the door in a black suit, looking like death personified. Lazaro Cross sits at the table with his leg in a cast and his hands cuffed. He looks broken, terrified. Good. Chief Cade paces near the back wall, flanked by 2 officers I don't recognize. His face is red, veins bulging in his neck. He's losing control and he knows it. Salvatore's lawyer, Paulie Ravenna, enters with a stack of documents. Behind him are federal agents. FBI badges visible. This isn't just a confession. This is an arrest. I press my face closer to the glass, trying to hear. The intercom crackles to life, and suddenly I can. "Chief Warren Cade, you're under investigation for corruption, evidence tampering, conspiracy to commit murder, and accepting bribes from organized crime. These agents are here to take custody of you pending formal charges." Cade's face goes from red to white. "This is ridiculous. I've served this department for 30 years. You have no proof." Salvatore pulls out a tablet and sets it on the table. 5 years of text messages between you and members of the Moretti crime family. Financial records showing $200,000 in annual payments to offshore accounts in your name. Documented evidence of you planting false evidence in at least 7 cases, including the murder of Rocco Santella, and testimony from Lazaro Cross, who's prepared to detail exactly how you coordinated the frame job of my wife. He presses play on a video. Security footage appears. But it's not the doctored version they showed me. It's raw footage showing a woman entering the warehouse who's clearly not me. The walk is wrong, the proportions off. Then another clip. Cade's black Escalade parked 2 blocks away, time-stamped 10:45 p.m. Cade's legs give out. He sinks into a chair. "I want my lawyer." Salvatore's smile is razor-sharp. "You'll get one. After you confess. On camera. In front of every news outlet currently packed in the conference room down the hall. You're going to tell them everything. How the Morettis paid you. How you planted evidence. How you framed an innocent pregnant woman for murder. How you had Sloane Ferris killed to silence a witness. All of it. I'll never..." Salvatore leans down until they're eye level. "You will. Because if you don't, I release everything to the media anyway and you go to prison as a dirty cop. You know what happens to dirty cops in prison, especially ones who hurt pregnant women? You'll be dead within a week. But if you confess, if you cooperate, I'll make sure you go to a federal facility. White-collar criminals. Minimum security. You'll survive. That's the deal." Cade's hands shake. He looks at the FBI agents. At Lazaro, who won't meet his eyes. At Salvatore, who looks like he'd enjoy watching him burn. "Fine. I'll confess. But I want immunity for..." Salvatore cuts him off. "You get nothing. You confess or you die. Choose." 10 minutes later, they move to the conference room. I follow with Dante staying close. The room is packed. Cameras, reporters, microphones. Chief Cade sits at a table with federal agents on either side. Lazaro sits next to him looking like he might pass out. Salvatore stands at the back with his arms crossed. When he sees me, his expression softens for just a second. Relief. Love. Everything he couldn't show before. I want to run to him, but I stay where I am. This isn't over yet. A federal agent steps forward. Chief Warren Cade has agreed to make a statement regarding multiple felonies committed during his tenure. This statement is being recorded and will be used in formal charges. Cade clears his throat. His voice is hollow, defeated. For the past 5 years, I've been accepting bribes from the Moretti crime family. $200,000 annually. In exchange, I provided them with protection, evidence tampering, witness intimidation. He lists crimes like he's reading a grocery list. Each word is another nail in his coffin. 3 weeks ago, the Morettis ordered me to eliminate Rocco Santella, who was planning to testify against them. They also wanted to destabilize Salvatore Nero's organization. We framed his wife Gianna Nero for Rocco's murder. We hired a professional impersonator, planted false evidence, doctored security footage, made it look airtight. His eyes finally find me in the crowd. She's innocent. She never killed anyone. I fabricated everything. The room explodes. Reporters shouting questions. Cameras flashing. I can barely breathe. The words wash over me. Innocent. Fabricated. Everything. Lazaro speaks next. Confesses to killing Rocco. Details the conspiracy. Names names. By the time he's done, the Moretti family's empire is burning. Federal agents move in to arrest both men. Cade and Lazaro are cuffed and led out through a back exit. The reporters surge forward trying to get statements, trying to understand what just happened. Salvatore moves through the chaos like a shark through water. He reaches me and his hands cup my face. It's over. You're free. I can't speak, can't process. My legs give out and he catches me, holds me against his chest while I sob into his shirt. Relief and terror and exhaustion all hitting at once. Our daughter kicks hard between us. Like she knows. Like she's celebrating. Let's go home. His voice is rough, emotional, more vulnerable than I've ever heard him. We leave through the side entrance. Dante has the SUV waiting. As we drive away from the station, I watch the news vans and reporters through the window. Tomorrow the headlines will scream about corruption, about frame jobs, about a mafia boss who exposed the system to save his wife. But right now I don't care about any of that. I just want to go home. Want to sleep in my own bed. Want to feel safe again. Salvatore's hand covers mine. His thumb traces circles on my palm. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Sorry I couldn't tell you the plan. If they thought you knew. I squeeze his hand. I know. I understand now. You were protecting me the only way you could. We drive home in silence. Not the uncomfortable kind, but the exhausted kind where words feel like too much effort. Salvatore's hand never leaves mine. His thumb keeps tracing those same circles on my palm like he's reassuring himself I'm real, that I'm here, that we made it through. When we pull up to our house, the one the police tore apart when they arrested me, I almost can't believe it's only been 4 days. It feels like a lifetime, like I left as one person and came back as someone completely different. Dante opens my door and helps me out. Welcome home, Mrs. Nero. His voice is genuine, respectful. I manage a small smile. Thank you, Dante, for everything, for saving me from those men, for keeping me safe. He nods once. Just doing my job, but you're welcome. He exchanges a look with Salvatore. Some silent communication I'm not part of. Then he gets back in the SUV and drives away, leaving us alone. Salvatore unlocks the front door and we step inside. The house smells like home, like the vanilla candles I always burn and the coffee Salvatore drinks every morning. But it also looks different. Furniture moved, drawers left open. Evidence of the police search. I walk through the living room, trailing my fingers over surfaces. Everything feels surreal, like I'm watching my life from outside my body. I'll have people come clean, fix everything they disrupted. Salvatore's voice comes from behind me. I turn to face him, really look at him for the first time since this nightmare started. He looks tired, older somehow. Lines around his eyes that weren't there before. His hair is slightly messed, like he's been running his hands through it. His suit is wrinkled. This man who's always so perfectly controlled looks like he's been through hell. Because he has been. Hunting, torturing, planning, all while pretending he didn't care if I lived or died. How did you do it? My voice is soft. How did you act like I meant nothing when I can't finish. Tears burn hot down my cheeks. Salvatore closes the distance between us in 2 strides. His hands frame my face and his forehead presses against mine. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Watching them hurt you. Listening to you scream my name. Seeing the betrayal in your eyes. I wanted to kill everyone in that building. Burn it to the ground with them inside. But if I showed any emotion, they would have used you against me. Would have known exactly how to break me. His voice cracks on the last word. This dangerous man who tortures people without flinching is breaking in front of me. I thought you'd set me up. Thought maybe I was just a liability you needed to eliminate. I press my hands against his chest. Feel his heart hammering beneath expensive fabric. Never. You and our daughter, you're the only good things in my life. The only real things. Everything else is blood and violence and lies. But your truth. Your light. You're the reason I keep fighting instead of putting a bullet in my own head. The confession is raw, honest, more than he's ever admitted before. I kiss him. Hard, desperate, trying to convey everything I can't put into words. He kisses back like a drowning man finding air. His hands move to my waist, gentle, reverent, mindful of our daughter between us. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing hard. I need to shower, need to wash that place off me. He nods. I'll make you something to eat. You've barely eaten in days. I head upstairs to our bathroom. The hot water feels like heaven against my skin. I stand under the spray until it runs cold, washing away the last 4 days. The fear, the blood, the cell that smelled like despair. When I come back downstairs wearing Salvatore's oversized shirt and sweatpants, he's made pasta. Nothing fancy. Just spaghetti with butter and garlic. Comfort food. We eat at the kitchen table in silence. Each bite feels like reclaiming normalcy, like proving we survived. After dinner, he leads me to the nursery, the soft yellow room we painted together 3 months ago, the crib we assembled, the changing table, the rocking chair by the window. Everything is exactly how we left it. I sat in here every night you were gone. Salvatore's voice is quiet. Talked to her, told her about her mother. How brave you are. How strong. How you were going to come home because I wouldn't let anyone take you from us. He sits in the rocking chair and pulls me onto his lap. My pregnant belly makes it awkward, but we manage. His hand spreads across my stomach and our daughter kicks against his palm. He smiles. Actually smiles. Soft and genuine and so full of love it hurts. She knows your voice. I cover his hand with mine. She always kicks when you talk. We sit like that for a long time, rocking slowly. His other hand stroking my hair. This is what we almost lost. This quiet moment. This family. This future. What happens now? I finally ask. With the Morettis. With Cade's confession. With everything. Salvatore's jaw tightens. The Morettis are finished. The feds are tearing apart their organization. Cade's testimony is giving them everything they need. Most of the family will be in prison within a month. And Lazaro? Salvatore's expression goes cold. He'll testify. Then he'll go to prison. Maybe he survives. Maybe he doesn't. I don't particularly care. I should be horrified by the casual way he talks about death. Should be disturbed by this reminder of what he is. But I'm not. Because these people tried to destroy me. Tried to take my baby. Tried to frame me for murder. They deserve whatever hell is coming for them. I need to tell you something. I turn in his lap so I can see his face. When I was in that cell, I realized I've been living in denial. Pretending your world isn't violent, isn't dangerous, choosing ignorance because it was easier than facing the truth. He starts to speak, but I press my finger to his lips. Let me finish. I can't do that anymore. I can't be the naive wife who doesn't ask questions, who doesn't understand what you do. If I'm going to be in this life, if I'm going to raise our daughter in this life, I need to know everything. No more protection through deception. No more lies to keep me safe. I need truth. Salvatore studies my face for a long moment. You're sure? Because once you know, you can't unknow. Once you see what I really am, there's no going back. I nod. I'm sure. I've already seen what happens when I'm kept in the dark. I become a target, a weakness. But if I know, if I understand, maybe I can protect myself, protect our daughter. He's quiet for so long, I think he might refuse. Then he nods slowly. Okay, no more secrets, no more hiding, but not tonight. Tonight we just exist, just be together. Tomorrow we'll talk about the Empire, about what it means to be the wife of a man like me, about how to survive in a world built on blood. Tomorrow. I agree. I rest my head against his shoulder and close my eyes. Our daughter kicks rhythmically between us. A heartbeat, a promise, a future we fought to keep. Salvatore starts humming, some Italian melody I don't recognize. His mother used to sing it to him when he was a child, before she died. Before his father turned him into a weapon. The sound is soothing, safe. I feel myself drifting, finally able to sleep without fear, without nightmares, without wondering if I'll wake up at all. I love you. The words slip out unbidden. Honest. Salvatore's arms tighten around me. I love you too. More than anything in this world. More than power. More than money. More than my own life. You and our daughter, you're my empire. Everything else is just noise. I smile against his neck. Outside our house, Dante and his men are standing guard, making sure no one gets close. No one threatens us. This is our reality now. Protection, violence, constant vigilance. But it's also love, family. A man who burned the city down to save me. A daughter who'll be born into a world where her father is both monster and protector. It's complicated, messy, dangerous, but it's ours, and I'm choosing to stay. 4 months later, I'm standing in the same nursery holding our daughter, Adriana Rose Nero, born 3 weeks early after a labor that lasted 14 hours and nearly killed me. She's perfect. Tiny fists, dark hair like her father, my eyes. She sleeps against my chest, making soft noises that sound like contentment, like peace, Like she doesn't know her father is currently in the next room conducting business that involves threats and violence and money stained with blood. But she will know. Eventually, when she's old enough to understand. Because I'm not raising her in ignorance. Not raising her to be naive like I was. The past 4 months have been a whirlwind. Chief Cade was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. He lasted 6 weeks before another inmate stabbed him 17 times in the shower. Salvatore says it wasn't him. Says he had nothing to do with it. I don't believe him, but I also don't ask for details. Lazaro Cross is in witness protection somewhere, probably living under a new name in some small town, terrified every shadow is one of Salvatore's men coming to finish what was started. The Moretti family collapsed. Most of the leadership is either dead or in prison. Their territory was absorbed by Salvatore's organization. His empire doubled overnight. And me? I've learned things I wish I didn't know. About the businesses Salvatore runs. The legitimate ones that launder money from the illegitimate ones. About the politicians on his payroll. The judges. The cops. About the people who've disappeared because they became problems. About the violence required to maintain power in a world where weakness equals death. Salvatore kept his promise. No more secrets. No more protection through lies. He tells me everything now. Shows me the ledgers. Includes me in strategic decisions. Some nights I hate him for it. For making me complicit. For turning me into someone who knows where the bodies are buried. Other nights I'm grateful. Because knowledge is power. And in this world power is survival. Adriana stirs in my arms. Her eyes open dark like her father's, and she looks at me with that unfocused newborn gaze. I kiss her forehead. Breathe in her baby smell. Memorize this moment before she grows up and learns the truth about our family. Your daddy loves you more than anything, I whisper. He's a dangerous man, a violent man, but he's also the man who burned down half the city to save your mother. Remember that when you're older. Remember that monsters can love too. The door opens and Salvatore walks in. He's wearing dark slacks and a white shirt with the sleeves rolled up. There's blood on his knuckles. Fresh. He sees me notice and moves to the sink in the corner of the nursery. Washes his hands thoroughly, methodically. When he's done, he dries them and comes to stand beside me. Looks down at our daughter with an expression I've never seen on anyone else. Pure adoration mixed with fierce protectiveness. How is she? His voice is soft, gentle. Nothing like the voice I heard through the door 10 minutes ago, promising someone a slow death if they didn't pay what they owed. Perfect. She ate. Had a diaper change. Now she's just watching the world. I hand Adriana to him and he cradles her like she's made of glass. This man who breaks bones without hesitation holds our daughter like she might shatter. She makes a small sound, and his whole face transforms, softens. Ciao, bella ragazza. Did you miss Papa? He rocks her slowly. Hums that Italian melody his mother used to sing. I watch them and my heart does something complicated. Love mixed with fear. Pride mixed with shame. This is my family, my choice, my life. The meeting went well. I sit in the rocking chair and gesture for him to join me. He sits with Adriana still in his arms. Well enough. Some people needed reminding about loyalty, about consequences. It's handled. Code for violence, for threats, maybe for death. I nod because what else can I do? I chose this. Chose truth over comfortable lies. The federal investigation into the Morettis is closing. The prosecutor called. They're satisfied with the convictions. They're not looking any deeper. Which means they're not looking at Salvatore. Not examining how he benefited from the Moretti collapse. Not questioning how he acquired their territory so quickly. That's good. I keep my voice neutral. Salvatore's eyes meet mine. Searching. You're angry. It's not a question. I shake my head. Not angry. Just tired. It's been a long 4 months. It's the truth, but not the whole truth. I'm also conflicted. Part of me is grateful we survived, that Adriana is healthy, that we have this life, this house, this family. But another part of me mourns the woman I was before, the one who believed in justice, in right and wrong. That woman died in a police station cell. The woman who replaced her knows the world is shades of gray, knows sometimes monsters are necessary, knows love doesn't absolve sin, but it makes it bearable. Salvatore shifts Adriana to one arm and reaches for my hand with the other. I know this isn't the life you imagined. No, you never asked to marry into this world. If I could change it, if I could be someone else. I squeeze his hand. I don't want you to be someone else. I want you to be exactly who you are. Even the dark parts. Even the violent parts. Because those parts saved me. Saved our daughter. I just need time to reconcile who I thought I married with who you actually are. He brings my hand to his lips. Kisses my knuckles. Take all the time you need. I'm not going anywhere. Adriana falls asleep in his arms. Her tiny mouth opens slightly. Her chest rises and falls with steady breaths. Salvatore stands carefully and places her in the crib, covers her with the soft pink blanket my mother sent. We stand there watching her sleep. Two people bound by love and violence and choices that can't be unmade. I've been thinking about moving. I say it quietly, not sure how he'll react. Somewhere with more security. Somewhere Adriana can grow up with guards, gates, protection. Because I know now that my daughter will never be safe. Will always be a target because of who her father is. Will always need protection. Salvatore's arm wraps around my waist. I've already been looking at properties. There's an estate 40 minutes from here. 20 acres. Private security. Safe room. Everything we need. Of course he has. He's always 3 steps ahead. Always planning. Always anticipating threats. Show me tomorrow? He nods. Tomorrow. We leave the nursery and walk downstairs. Dante is in the living room waiting. He stands when he sees us. Boss, we've got a situation with the shipment from Chicago. They're asking for more money. Salvatore's expression hardens. I'll handle it. Give me 10 minutes. He turns to me and his face softens again. That quick transition from business to personal. From monster to man. Go to bed. I'll be up soon. I should argue. Should insist we spend the evening together like a normal couple. But we're not normal. We'll never be normal. So I just nod and kiss him. Don't be too long. I head upstairs and change into pajamas. Get into our bed. The sheets smell like him. Like expensive cologne and danger. I hear voices downstairs. Salvatore's steady and cold. Dante's providing details. Someone else whose voice I don't recognize pleading. Then silence. The kind that means violence just happened. I close my eyes and try not to picture it. Try not to imagine what Salvatore just did in our living room. Try not to think about the blood that might need cleaning. This is my life now. This is what I chose. A man who loves me enough to kill for me. Who tortures his enemies and then comes upstairs to hold our daughter. Who's both protector and predator depending on which side of him you're facing. It should terrify me. Maybe it does. But it also makes me feel safer than I've ever felt. Because I know with absolute certainty that Salvatore Nero will never let anyone hurt us. Will never let anyone take what's his. He comes to bed an hour later. His hair is damp from a shower. He smells like soap. There's no blood. No evidence of whatever happened downstairs. He slides under the covers and pulls me against his chest. His hand spreads across my stomach where Adriana lived for 9 months. I love you. His voice is rough. Emotional. I know. I turn in his arms. Kiss him slow and deep. I love you too. Even knowing everything. Even seeing what you are. I love you. We fall asleep tangled together. 2 broken people who somehow make each other whole. Outside our house guards patrol. Inside our nursery our daughter sleeps. And somewhere in this city people fear the name Nero. Fear what Salvatore will do if they cross him. Fear the empire he built on blood and bones. But in this bed we're just Gianna and Salvatore. Just husband and wife. Just parents trying to protect their child in a world that wants to destroy them. It's not perfect. It's not easy. But it's ours. And I'm choosing it. Every single day. I'm choosing this life. This man. This dangerous, beautiful, complicated love. 6 months later, I'm standing in the kitchen of our new estate watching Adriana in her bouncer seat. She's 6 months old now. Fat cheeks, bright eyes. She laughs when I make faces at her. She reaches for everything. She's starting to recognize people. Her face lights up when Salvatore walks into a room. She cries when he leaves. Daddy's girl through and through. The estate is everything Salvatore promised. 20 acres of land surrounded by walls and cameras and men with guns. A safe room in the basement, with enough supplies to last 3 weeks. Panic buttons in every room. Armored vehicles in the garage. This isn't a home, it's a fortress. And I sleep better here than I ever did in our old house. The charges against me were officially dropped 2 months ago. Expunged from my record like they never existed. My lawyer says I could sue the city. Sue the police department. Walk away with millions in a settlement. But Salvatore advised against it. Said drawing more attention would be dangerous. Said some battles aren't worth fighting. I agreed because he's right. The people who framed me are dead or imprisoned. Justice was served. Not the legal kind. The other kind. The kind that happens in dark alleys and prison showers and warehouses where people scream and no one hears. I've changed. I see it when I look in the mirror. My eyes are harder. My smile doesn't reach as easily. I carry a gun now. A small 9mm that Salvatore taught me to shoot. I practice twice a week at the private range on our property. I'm getting good. Not as good as Dante or Salvatore, but good enough. Good enough to protect myself. good enough to protect Adriana if someone gets past our security. I never thought I'd be the kind of woman who sleeps with a weapon in her nightstand. But I also never thought I'd be framed for murder. Life has a way of changing you, of stripping away who you thought you were, and revealing who you actually are underneath. My phone buzzes. A text from Salvatore. Meeting running late. Home by 8. It's 6 now. 2 more hours. I text back a heart emoji and turn my attention back to Adriana. She's gnawing on a teething ring, looking absolutely miserable. Her first tooth is coming in. She's been fussy all week, not sleeping well. Neither am I. Motherhood is harder than I imagined. More exhausting. More all-consuming, but also more rewarding. Every smile, every laugh, every tiny milestone makes the sleepless nights worth it. The doorbell rings. Not the front gate intercom. The actual front door, which means someone got through security. My hand moves instinctively to the gun I keep in the kitchen drawer. I check the security monitor. It's Dante. I relax slightly and buzz him in. He enters looking grim. Mrs. Nero, we need to talk. My stomach drops. What happened? Is Salvatore okay? Dante nods quickly. Boss is fine. But we have a situation. Someone's been asking questions about you. About what happened last year. A journalist. I sit down hard. Adriana senses my tension and starts fussing. I pick her up and hold her close. What kind of questions? Dante pulls out his phone and shows me a series of social media posts. A journalist named Rachel Winters. Young, ambitious. She's been investigating the Moretti family collapse, the corruption scandal, Cade's murder in prison. And now she's digging into me, into how a pregnant woman was framed for murder and then suddenly freed after her mafia husband forced confessions. She's connecting dots that shouldn't be connected. What does Salvatore want to do about her? My voice is steady even though my heart is racing. Dante's expression darkens. He wants to handle it quietly. Make the problem disappear. Handle it quietly. Code for murder. For silencing. For making Rachel Winters vanish like she never existed. 6 months ago I would have been horrified. Would have begged Salvatore to find another way. But now I just nod. When? Dante looks surprised. You're okay with this? I adjust Adriana in my arms. Meet his eyes. I'm okay with protecting my family. That's all this is. Protection. He studies me for a long moment. You've changed. It's not a judgment, just an observation. I smile, but it's cold. Empty. I had to. The woman I was before wouldn't have survived, so I became someone who could. Dante nods slowly, respect in his expression. Boss will be glad to hear you're on board. He was worried you'd fight him on it. I bounce Adriana gently. She's calming down. I'm done fighting him. We're on the same side. We've always been on the same side. I just didn't understand that before. Dante leaves and I'm alone with my thoughts and my daughter. I should feel guilty. Should feel horror at how easily I just sanctioned someone's death. But I don't. I feel nothing. Or maybe I feel too much, and I've learned to bury it so deep it doesn't show anymore. Rachel Winters is a threat. Threats get eliminated. That's the rule in this world. The only rule that matters: survive, protect, destroy anything that threatens your family. It's brutal. It's wrong. It's also reality. Salvatore comes home at 8:30. He finds me in the nursery putting Adriana to bed. She's finally sleeping after fighting it for an hour. He wraps his arms around me from behind and rests his chin on my shoulder. Dante told me about his conversation with you. His voice is careful, testing. I turn in his arms. The journalist, handle it. Do whatever needs to be done. His eyes search mine. You're sure? I nod. I'm sure. She's a threat. We eliminate threats. That's how we survive. He kisses me, hard, possessive. When he pulls back, his eyes are dark with something I can't name. I was prepared to fight you on this. Prepared for you to hate me for it. I cup his face. I could never hate you. You're protecting us. That's all you've ever done. I understand that now. Finally understand what it means to be your wife. What it means to live in your world. He presses his forehead against mine. Sometimes I miss the woman you were before. The innocent one who believed in goodness. That woman got framed for murder and almost lost everything. This woman knows how to fight back. I kiss him again. This woman is stronger. Smarter. This woman won't be anyone's victim ever again. He smiles. It's proud. Maybe a little sad. I love you. Both versions. The before and the after. I take his hand and lead him to our bedroom. We make love slowly, quietly, trying not to wake Adriana in the next room. Afterward, we lie tangled together in the dark. His fingers trace patterns on my bare skin. Rachel Winters will be handled by the end of the week. Car accident. Tragic. No one will question it. His voice is matter of fact, casual, like he's discussing dinner plans. I should flinch, should feel something, but I just nod against his chest. Good. We fall silent. Outside our window, I can hear guards doing their rounds. Inside our fortress, we're safe, protected, isolated from a world that wants to tear us down. Do you ever regret it? I ask quietly. Marrying me, bringing me into this life. Salvatore's arms tighten around me. Never. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. You and Adriana. You make all of this worth it. The violence, the danger, the constant threat. It's worth it because I have you. I close my eyes. I don't regret it either. Even knowing what I know. Even becoming who I've become. I'd choose you again. Every time. It's the truth. Maybe it makes me a monster too. Maybe I've been corrupted by proximity to violence. Maybe I've lost whatever moral compass I once had. Or maybe I've just evolved, adapted, become what I needed to become to survive. 3 days later, the news reports a tragic car accident. Rachel Winters lost control on a mountain road and went over the side. No survivors, no witnesses, just another tragedy. Another person gone. I watch the report while feeding Adriana her bottle. Feel nothing. Absolutely nothing. That night, Salvatore comes home early, brings flowers, roses, my favorite. It's done. She's gone. The investigation dies with her. I take the flowers and put them in water. Thank you for protecting us. He pulls me close, kisses the top of my head. Always. I'll always protect you, no matter what it costs. I wake up to Adriana's cries piercing the night. Her first real word came yesterday. Mama, and now she's teething harder, feverish, clinging to me like I'm her only anchor in a world that's already too big. Salvatore's side of the bed is empty, cold. He's been gone since midnight, handling a shipment issue from the docks. I know what that means. Bodies in containers. Rival crews trying to muscle in on territory we took from the Morettis. Blood on the concrete before dawn. I pull Adriana close, rock her in the dim nursery light, her tiny body burning against mine. Shh, baby girl. Mama's here. Daddy's making sure no one hurts us. She quiets, sucking her thumb. But her eyes, those dark Nero eyes, stay wide open, watching shadows like she senses the danger outside our walls. Downstairs, the house is silent except for the low murmur of guards changing shifts. I check the security monitors. All clear. But sleep won't come. My mind replays Rachel Winters' accident footage. The twisted metal, the reporter's voice calling it unavoidable. I sanctioned that. Nodded when Salvatore said, car accident. Now her family's grieving, digging for answers that will lead nowhere. Guilt should twist my gut. It doesn't anymore. Survival rewires you. Turns empathy into a luxury you can't afford. I kiss Adriana's forehead, lay her back in the crib, and head to the kitchen for water. That's when I see it, a burner phone on the counter. Not ours. Salvatore's for dirty work. The screen lights up. A single message. Cross-slipped custody. Heading your way. Armed. My blood turns to ice. Lazzaro Cross. The man who killed Rocco. Who confessed. Who was supposed to rot in witness protection. Heart pounding. I grab my 9mm from the drawer. Check the chamber. Safety off. Dante. I call into the intercom. No answer. Footsteps upstairs heavy. Wrong. Not our guards. I hit the panic button. Alarms blare. Lights flood the property. But it's too late. The nursery door creaks. A shadow fills the frame. Lazzaro. Gaunt. Scarred. Eyes wild with hate. You ruined everything, Mrs. Nero. Time to pay. He lunges. I fire. The shot echoes, deafening. Hits his shoulder. He staggers but doesn't drop. Grabs my wrist. Twists. Pain shoots up my arm. The gun clatters. Adriana screams. Rage floods me, primal, maternal. I drive my knee into his groin. He doubles over. I snatch a lamp, smash it across his face. Blood sprays. He roars, tackles me to the floor. His hands close around my throat. Vision spots. For the Morettis. For Cade. Black spots dance. Adriana's cries fuel me. I claw his eyes. Gouge deep. He howls, loosens grip. I roll free, grab the gun, fire again. Center mass. He collapses, blood pooling, gurgling my name like a curse. Doors burst open. Dante and 3 guards swarm in, weapons drawn. Mrs. Nero. Dante kneels, checks Lazzaro's pulse. He's gone. I nod, shaking, gun still clutched. He got through security. How? Dante's face hardens. Inside job. One of ours. Betrayal. Again. Guards drag Lazzaro's body away. Cleaners will handle the rest. I stumble to Adriana, scoop her up. She's hysterical. Face buried in my neck. It's okay, Principessa. Mama protected you. But my hands tremble. Salvatore's phone buzzes again. I answer. Gianna? His voice panic-edged with fury. Lazzaro broke out. I was coming. It's done. My voice steady despite the adrenaline crash. He came for us. I killed him. Silence. Then, you what? Pride mixes with horror. I'm fine. Adriana's fine. But Dante says inside man. He swears in Italian. Stay put. I'm home in 10. We'll find the traitor. I hang up. Hold my daughter tighter. This is the life. Endless threats. Constant vigilance. But I protected her. Me. Not Salvatore's empire. Not his men. Me. Salvatore arrives like a storm. Blood on his shirt, not his. He wraps me in his arms. Adriana between us. My fighter. My queen. His lips crash into mine. Desperate. Possessive. I'll burn it all down. No more leaks. I pull back. Meet his eyes. We do it together. No secrets. I shoot better than half your soldiers now. He smiles, dark. Aroused. Prove it. Later, after Adriana sleeps, we make love on the nursery floor amid the chaos. Raw. Urgent. His hands trace my scars, the new bruise on my throat. I'll protect you even if it costs my life. The words hit deep. Viral truth. Our vow. Dawn breaks. Dante drags the traitor, a young soldier named Rocco Vieri, into the basement, begging. It was the Morettis. They paid me. Salvatore's fist cracks his jaw. I watch from the stairs, gun holstered at my hip. Adriana safe with the nanny upstairs. Finish it, I say. Salvatore nods, hands Vieri a blade. Your mess, Vieri pleads. Salvatore's eyes cold. Family first. One cut. Over. Blood sprays. Salvatore washes up, joins me. Empire's secure. I lean into him. Our empire. That night, Adriana says, Papa, for the first time. We laugh, cry, hold her between us. This world tried to break us, failed. We're stronger, darker, unbreakable. Rachel's ghost, Lazzaro's blood, just steps on the path. Threats come. We end them. Love like ours, violent, loyal, survives anything. Forever. Thank you so much for sticking around and showing me so much love and support. You have no idea how much it means to me. If this story resonated with you, then hit that subscribe and like button right now. Let's prove my daughter wrong.